I think it's too early to speculate on whether or not there will be significant consequences. I think, importantly, it depends on whether the hostilities extend beyond Israel and Gaza, and that's certainly an outcome we would like to avoid.
And are you and the Treasury Department preparing for that eventuality and what it might do to the global economy if the conflict does broaden out in that way?
Look, I think it's very early days, and we're monitoring the situation at this point. The American economy is doing extremely well. Inflation has been high, and it's been a concern to households. It's come down considerably. At the same time, we have about the strongest labor market we've seen in 50 years with 3.8% unemployment. We've seen a burgeoning of investment, especially in manufacturing, an industrial renaissance in the United States. And we're creating good jobs, especially for people don't have a college education, who've been left out of really economic progress in the United States. So the United States economy is in a good place.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Support this great content by hitting the Cash App and by joining the Patreon.
And we have Janet Yellen again not being honest with us, saying that the drums are beating is not going to affect the economy and that the U.S. economy is in great shape. And she says it with a straight face. We see the United States economy crumbling. Steve Mnuchin started it and handed it over to Janet Yellen, the chess piece. And don't forget, guys, she used to be the chair of the Fed, and she knows exactly the mission. Remember, she's the one that stated, there's nothing going on with inflation. And now inflation hits, so now we have the Fed and the Treasury fighting the inflation that they cause. But we know why. Because we're in a fragmented world. They have to break up every sector in order to bring in the robots, algorithms, and drones. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you.
This rally is way beyond the rumor. I think the rally today is about a flight to quality with all the issues around the Israeli war now, global terrorism. And I think there's more people running into a flight to quality, whether that is in treasuries, gold, or crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality.
Like the SEC is going to be forced to approve a spot Bitcoin ETF. What, if any, communications have you had with the SEC about your application? Where are we in this whole thing?
Well, it was publicized and disclosed I think it was last week that we had responded to the SEC's request for information around our Bitcoin filing, and we responded. And that's basically all we can say. I think many people think the fact that the SEC chose to ask questions is a change in behavior. And therefore, I do think hopes are rising that a number of Bitcoin ETFs will be approved.
Yeah, my understanding is the court now is going to issue a mandate about how to enforce their decision here to the SEC, and their SEC is going to basically follow that mandate. Everybody is assuming at this point that they'll probably approve most of the Bitcoin ETFs by the end of the year. That's a reasonable assumption at this point? They lost the court case. They chose not to appeal it at this point.
Right. And I do believe maybe the reason they're saying by the end of the year, early next year, I know our final deadline on this filing is January 10th. And so, and I think we're first in line. But as you say, a number of Bitcoin ETFs could be approved at the same time.
Do you not believe in higher for longer?
I don't, and we don't, I should say. If we're paying attention to company earnings, and some of these are companies we're exposed to, others not, you'll see at both the high end and the low end of the consumer spectrum in terms of price points. You've got Domino's saying, hey, it's really weak out there. We've got to do more promotional activity. And you've got LVMH, same thing. Both of those happened last week. We're paying attention to company reports, and I understand the economic statistics are volatile and showing strength and then weakness. We're paying attention to our companies, and it does seem like the consumer is starting to give way here.
It's kind of ironic, though, because, Bitcoin was supposed to eliminate our reliance on large intermediaries, create peer-to-peer trading. And here we have, some of the largest intermediaries of the world, like Blackrock, offering really a derivative of Bitcoin on a centralized exchange.
Yes, and I'm sure the purists would kind of be rolling their eyes, even while they're thrilled if it helps make Bitcoin prices go higher, as it appears to be doing. Right. How much of this is politics? So, some DC observers have made the point that this does kind of in a backdoor way bring Bitcoin under the SEC's remit because they regulate ETFs, and ultimately regulators don't want to lose power, and this is a way of maintaining it.
Well, perhaps that. I think they were really just in a position after the recent court case where they didn't really have any options. They had tried to resist approving the cash ETFs because they were concerned about, the degree of oversight in the cash market. So I think that's why they did it. I think they'll continue, though, to pursue the enforcement actions challenging whether a lot of these tokens are securities. Obviously, they've acknowledged that Bitcoin is not, but we still have that issue of, which tokens are securities and how do we bring regulatory oversight to these platforms? Mm-hmm. It remains the same issue.
Right. So does it now kind of ring fence Bitcoin and sort of say, okay, that this can move forward and kind of be mainstreamed, all the rest of it TBD, and what exactly is the regulatory the sort of ad hoc regulatory framework that has now sprung up?
Well, I think we're still in a very muddled area because they don't have general oversight over these trading platforms, even with respect to Bitcoin trading, right? I mean, neither the SEC nor the CFTC technically has the power to tell Coinbase, for example, you have to follow these standards in the trading of Bitcoin. Now, former SEC Chair Jay Clayton and I advocated just that. We said the SEC and the CFTC should just get together and develop standards and say these apply to any platform that trades Bitcoin or Ether. That would have gotten you the entire market, and just create a baseline of protection. We can fight about which tokens really should be treated as securities. We can continue to fight about that, but we really need some basic investor protection in this market.
And we have Larry Fink says a 30K pump was a flight to safety. Is that correct, guys? No, it is not. We know the Fed took your money, printed a fake report, and liquidated over $100 million. Someone should go to jail. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. Where is the SEC for this? Now we have Cathie Wood say spot Bitcoin ETF is coming soon. And remember, the deadline for her spot Bitcoin ETF is January of next year. And Cathie Woods doesn't believe the higher rates for longer. And the Cryptoteacher is right along with her, because we can clearly see there's going to be an event that's going to allow the Fed to cut rates because the drums are getting louder. And unlike what Janet Yellen stated, the American people are hurting. And we have Timothy Massad, the ex-CFTC chair, says that it's funny how a reporter of a big bank coming into crypto pumps Bitcoin when Bitcoin was supposed to replace the banks. And he's smiling because he knows that the NWO was behind Bitcoin and crypto from the beginning. And the Cryptoteacher, when I first started this channel, I let you know that the big banks and big corporations were funding crypto from the beginning in order to bring in this new financial system that's going to give them even more control. Remember, blockchain gives the NWO the all-seeing eye, and programmable money will allow them to tell you what, where, when, and how to buy, and you have 3 to 6 months to spend it or poof, it's gone. And since all your power has been taken, They're going to put you in a metaverse in order to download you. And once they download you, they're able to delete you. Remember, they want the mind, body, and soul. And don't forget the Cryptoteacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the fourth industrial revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.